welcome to mycustomxbox.com's tutorial on how to customize a controller. In this one we're going to be painting with the vinyl fabric and dye coating, and just wanted you to see that this project right here, we already have 3 coats of paint on it. And what I wanted to do is actually show you one application, because you want to do about 8 of these applications. And so as you can see here, it's very light spraying going on, and the spray is very quick, not very much paint's going on. And what I tend to like to do is walk around the box and make sure I hit it from every angle, especially those close to the box. Just make sure that you don't spray too hard on any one particular spot. Very quick, very rapid fires of spray paint. Usually you want to start away from the part and then go over it so you don't get a shot of paint right at it. Always make sure your nozzle is cleared. Then after the fact, we're going to take you to a shot outside here and let you see that once that it's done, you want it to sit outside if possible for a while and really harden.
And that looks like we're finally covered.
And that really helps that process take shape. And then we're going to also, after you see this, we're going to take you in and let you go through the design process.
Hello and welcome to www.mycustomxbox.com's tutorial on how to paint a controller. Today we're going to be working with the paint scheme of Racing Stripes. This is the design that was requested, and so we're going to try and give him that. I wanted a silver gray and then blue, I guess, to match his halo armor. So we are going to actually get a little creative with this one. We were thinking about doing a racing stripe all the way around, but quite honestly, very symmetrical lines are very hard to do on the contours of an Xbox 360 controller. If you want to do a camouflage or tiger stripe or anything else that's not a exact line, it's fairly easy, just because you can lay them wherever you want. But when we're trying to get exact proportions with straight lines, it can become difficult. So what we've proposed is we're going to do the stripe on the front. We're going to paint the buttons the same color as the stripe, the triggers, and the LBRB. And then we're probably going to do the bottom plate the same color as the stripe. And then the back will just be solid gray silver. So what we want to do here is, because we've done our base coat of silver, we want to, make these blue lines that we're going to do. And the way that we could do this is twofold. One, we can center off of the Xbox button, which I actually would prefer to do. But what that's going to do is it's going to make us hit the contour on both of these analog stick and D-pad setups. And to get a straight line over that is possible, but very hard, especially with tape. We're going to talk a little bit more about what you can use to do that in a more advanced video. But for all intents and purposes, we're just trying to use tape for this one. And so what we're going to do is we're going to first take our handy dandy ruler without touching the actual controller, and we would like to measure the distance right here in the middle of these two. And it looks like it's coming out as, what is that, 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to use that as our measurement. Now I'm laying this down because we want to utilize the factory line on the tape. We know that that is a straight edge. So we're going to mark this sucker 3 times. And you just want to line up exactly on the edge and then mark where you are. And this will be the last one. Awesome. Now we're going to take our ruler, we're going to put it back down, and we're going to line up with those 3 pieces, or those 3 tabs that we've made. I always like to draw it the first, then take your X-Acto knife. I use a metal ruler for this reason. And then just cut. And voila, we've got it. So we're going to pull this back, and now we're going to mask the top. Cut off about that much. And as I promised, this is not the easiest thing with gloves on. But when you have a paint job at this stage, like we do, where we've done a lot of the duplicolor vinyl coat, you just don't want to mess with it. So definitely use gloves. And I wish I could give you an easy, exact way of doing that, but just line it up. You want to make sure that your creases are definitely covered in there, where it'll wrap around. Same thing on the top. And that looks pretty good. So that's the first part of this. Second part is, like I said, we're going to go outside. No matter what, on the left-hand side, if you're going to do anything that's a straight line, you're going to hit a crease or a contour. So we're going to try and keep this one okay. Let me hold this up. We're going to try and keep our line right about there. So we'll have a line and a line, and we'll see what happens here. I'm excited. I want to get this controller painted today. So using even the same piece of tape that we just made for the center line, now we have a nice straight, edge that we can use. It's a thin strip. The smaller the initial piece of tape is, usually the easier it is to put where you need. You can mold it right to where it wants to go, where you want it to go. So I'm going to butt right up against this edge here. I think that looks pretty good. All right, and now for the last step. This is the hard one, that's why I saved it for the last. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off in a thinner piece. And you want to make sure you're always using the edge that is the factory tape edge. So like after this piece of tape, in my opinion, is shot. It's masking tape. You have a ton of it. Okay. Now I'm going to start just by gently placing that on there. Ever so gently, but I just saw that I messed it up already. Now these contours are where you just want to make sure you're definitely pressing down because you don't want overspray. Especially when you're doing a darker color onto a light color like we're doing here. Or a lighter color onto a darker color. That contrast is going to be very evident when you get done. Cool. Looks pretty good. Now I always like to just measure. This one looks a little bit bigger over here, but it might just be the button.